Okay, so here we are with our pattern, and our little image is sitting here at the top where I can look at it. I have a little piece of watercolor paper. This was a painting I didn't like, I cut up, and I'm going to use the back of it to try my colors. Now, let's talk about this. What colors will we need? I'd like to do a color sample of what I see in the picture. So the first color I really see is the yellow. But it's a little orangey yellow. Now I remember that when I tried my colors, that if I added rose to it, I got a nice orange. So when I mix that, I can compare it to my picture and see that it is very close to what I want to do with that color. Now, I want a blue, and I know from my laying out my palette that I have a bright blue available. That's nice and bright, and it looks similar to my picture. So far we have yellow, rose, and in this box it's called Prussian blue. You might call it intense blue if you have a different company. Just try it on a piece of paper so that you can see that it's a bright blue, close to the blue you need in your picture. So far, 3 colors. Now, if I look at my picture, this looks kind of like a brown to me, and this looks like a purpley brown. Now, I know that I have a brown in my palette, and that brown is called burnt sienna. Nice rusty color. I also have in my palette a violet. And if I add the violet to the brown, I can see what rich, deep brown I get, and I can compare that to the picture and see that that's pretty close to what I need for rocks. And the trees are just slightly darker. If I take the burnt sienna and the purple and just add more paint, it doesn't really get much darker. It's still on the mauve side, so I need to darken this. So the complementary to this, it's red, it's a lot of red in this violet, so you would want to use something that's going to dull that red down. And the quickest way, believe it or not, to make that would be to add a green. So let's try our green into our purple mix here and see how dark we can make this. And here is what the green looks like. And I've added it to the mix here. And I have a black, a very dark violet black. So you don't need the black because you can mix it. Now, do we see any other colors? We see kind of browns in here, a little bit of gray blue in there. We can get all of those colors by mixing. Here's this gray blue in here, just by adding the orange and the blue. And I need a brown. Well, I've got that mixed down in here with the ultramarine and burnt sienna. Let's just record that. No, we didn't use ultramarine, we used violet. It's very handy to keep your paints handy. So I'm going to keep those, and I'm going to get rid of all of these other paints in my box that I do not need. And I'm going to keep my color sample handy so that I can see how I've mixed my colors. Now I am almost ready to go. What's missing is my puddles to paint with. So what I would ask myself is, what do I need? How much of this painting am I going to do? Well, the safest thing to do would be to paint from the sky down to the horizon line. So let's give you a few minutes to get your paints ready, get your sample ready, and then we'll come back and paint our picture. Once we get our palette ready, that's our next step. So come on back for the next installment.